Well, I'm now joined by my friend and colleague Gwen Morrison, the CEO of the Store for the Americas, and Amy VENER, who is the retail vertical strategist at Pinterest. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Amy, when you search for stuff these days, you know, it's a very sort of, I suppose, technological process. Zero serendipity around it, and very uncurated. How do you see the world changing in terms of this notion of curating some content that allows you to have a sort of a more rounded view of what you're seeing?
I think from a Pinterest perspective, we see the camera as the new keyboard. So giving people tools to then see the world and discover visually things in the real world or inside of a store that speak to you and find ideas that are related to that. And so being able to save those ideas onto boards and hand curate the name of that board creates all these data points that allow us to help make your content more relevant every time you experience a search or go to the home feed on Pinterest. And
how, Gwen, do you see that now developing to help people understand ranges, to get a feel of the sort of styles that they may be interested in, as opposed to an individual product and a SKU?
Sure, and I'll give you an example. If you were just keying in, you know, men's blue dress shirt as a search using words, whether it's mobile, tablet, or otherwise, you'll get maybe a couple blue men's shirts, then you'll get a red shirt, then you'll get a blue dress, then who knows what you're going to get. And I've seen this with some of the most sophisticated formats and channels that just somehow lose the direction of where this consumer is going, and it just kind of falls apart. So what we're finding is in visual search, there's more inspiration and more of like a connection to the imagery, and building on, you know, images like this image, you actually get much more of a curated catalog, if you will, whether it's something that's provided by a retailer, a brand, or maybe an individual that's putting, you know, inspiring boards together about a vacation. And the other side to that could be the opportunity, the upside, that it is more of a creative discovery process. So the individual consumer is replicating the best of retail experiences when they're engaging with visual search.
Now, I suppose Pinterest used to be centered around, or maybe it still is, we'll find out in a minute, centered around, you know, individuals creating boards, creating their own community. How have companies and brands now used Pinterest? Yeah,
so the majority of content on Pinterest is from brands or retailers, and the consumer experience is being able to discover things that are, to Gwen's point, aesthetically similar. So a blue shirt to Gwen may be something very different than a blue shirt for me, where I have a button down, it's a little more androgynous. You'll probably have something that's a little more stylish, but the idea that you can create these experiences where it's a personal experience for me based on the brands and styles that I'm attracted to. And I can then curate that by saving, again, the content, and then it just makes my home feed smarter with what things I'm shown at what moment I'm looking.
And what do smart retailers, brand owners now need to know about optimizing for Pinterest?
I think brands need to remember that what's important isn't necessarily just that last signal of intent before the purchase. What's important is being able to introduce your product, your brand at the moment, at the early stages before someone decided what it is they were going to buy. They have an idea of what they want. They're in market for, you know, a Sunday brunch pair of jeans or a Sunday brunch hat, but they don't know who they're going to buy it from yet. If you're in the consideration set early on and you have the opportunity to have a visual lifestyle image, not just a product laydown shot and a price point, being there at the early stage guarantees that you're part of the consideration later.
Well, you had a great phrase. It was called return on inspiration.
Yeah.
Which
That's
I
nice.
love this, and I think we want to dig deeper into it. But really getting to investing and inspiring consumers is that's the wide part of the funnel.
Yeah, once you get an inspired consumer, the
Because-
passion that drives that purchase makes it accelerated, makes them spend a little more to fulfill that vision of what they're trying
I mean,
to
it's
achieve.
difficult to use those words, sort of passion in terms of a search engine, is it? I mean, it's,
I don't know.
But that's maybe what it was coming to, because you were talking about these attitudes of consumers based on their aesthetics and their likes as a new kind of currency, a new lens in which to look at consumers based on common interests.
Yep.
And what's the term you had for that? That was
Now you're catching
Okay.
me off guard. I
But-
don't remember the term I used.
but I think of I said we've come a long way from pools and patios, where we used to define consumers by zip codes and where they live and do they have a
Yes.
deck or a pool, and now it's really like I like this chair.
Yes.
I
I know it when I
respond
see
to
it.
a style.
I know it when I see it, that
and
feeling.
what change and influence is this all having in terms of sort of what one would typically call the path to purchase, although life's changed a lot, in terms of the way in which consumers are using these types of tools along their journey of interest to purchase.
Yeah, I mean, when I look back at pre-phone in my pocket, able to access anything, the physical store was how I found out about possibilities in my life. And so, to your point, I think the opportunity is being part of that experience visually. Early enough on, you just change the dynamics of the path to purchase, and you're pivoting from inspired to let's drill down deep and look at the 5 retailers that offer those products, but not quite what I'm looking for. Go back up. Oh, I love that. Go back down. That really is a unique behavior.
And one of the themes that's already emerging at Stream Commerce here in Miami this morning is how important voice is going to be in the future for all of us, for brand owners, for consumers, and for retailers. What's your view of voice and what people need to know?
I think it has a long way to go still. I would certainly not recognizing the more emotional cue from the voice. There's been some frustration where you're going down the path. I saw the example. If you say, I want a hotel not near the Eiffel Tower, you're as likely to get that hotel recommendation that is near the Eiffel Tower. So just some of these subtle, the languaging of it still has a long way to go. I think what has been interesting this morning, building on the themes of technology, shopping, bringing in the humanity of it, and then this inspirational idea is that you want to see a future where we're taking voice and visual imagery together, potentially, to start to get much better at this kind of a conversational way to shop that's more sensory. So that really, to me, is the leap, is going from this very kind of this rote behavior, I want another this, I want another that, click, 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 to an experience that allows people to feel like they're interacting with the world and with the world's great retailers.
I mean, digitally, we started sort of with the least human way to search for things, which is with texts and words. The most human way for a physical experience is navigating with your eyes.
Yes. And Pinterest in a voice-enabled world?
I mean,
What can we expect?
Our focus really is allowing that sort of mobile, with that limited real estate that everyone covets, having the most inspiring, discoverable experience that allows for a more personalized sort of exchange. So that's our focus. We're sticking to it.
Okay, well, Amy and Gwen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for
Appreciate
having us.
it.